1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Out there in Mandolin land, Mike Hedding here, coming to you today with the old gospel song, Are You Washed in the Blood, in the key of B flat. I kind of worked up a beginner arrangement to this song. I realized I hadn't done any mandolin lessons in the key of B flat yet, so I thought this would be a good one to do. It's a great old gospel song. B flat, the key is used a lot in bluegrass, so you'll want to get familiar with that key. We'll break down how to play the basics of playing in B flat, like a B flat major scale. We'll break that down at the beginning of this lesson, and then we'll go through a solo for the verse and a solo for the chorus. They'll have a lot of similarities, but just some really good practice kind of playing through your chord shapes in B flat and just classic bluegrass chord shapes and double stops that you need to know to play bluegrass. I'll break that all down as well. And then I'll show you how to play the chords in a couple different spots. So we'll do, B flat chords down here, E flat and F are the other two chords we need, and then we'll do like Bill Monroe style chop chords. We'll do it up here as well. So I'll break that down in the backup section. All right, let's jump into Are You Washed in the Blood in the key of B flat. All right, let's start breaking down this beginner version to the classic gospel song, Are You Washed in the Blood? I always think of Red Allen when I think of this song. Red Allen and the Kentuckians, he had a great version of this song, but I think it's been done by a lot of people. The Stanley Brothers, I think it's an old hymn too, so this is a great one to know. We're going to do it in the key of B flat, which is really good practice. You'll get some practice playing. If you're a beginner, maybe you've played in G, D, and A, some of the more quote-unquote beginner keys, but B flat is also a really good key to play in. Tony Rice said once that B flat was his favorite key to play bluegrass in, so it's a great key to know. So let's jump into the lesson. I'll start by kind of going over a little bit of how to play in the key of B flat just real quick, and then we'll jump into the solo. Here we go. So this song is going to use the B flat major scale, and that's where we're going to get our notes from. So let's just go over that real quick in 2 octaves. We're going to start with our middle finger on the 3rd fret of the low string, and then we have the 5th fret, and then we have open D, and then the 1st fret, and then the 3rd fret, 5th fret, open A, and then the 1st fret. So you have 3rd fret on the low string to 1st fret on the A string is like the octave. So you have, and then we can go up another octave, 1st fret, which is the beginning, 3rd fret, 5th fret, and then 6th fret, and then 1st fret, 3rd, 5th, 6th. So on the A string, it's not too hard. You're just doing 1, 3, 5, 6, 1, 3, 5, 6. Those are the frets. Good practice to get those notes under your fingers. Always when I'm practicing scales, it's good practice to try and keep your fingers down as long as possible. Especially on that pinky, you kind of have to get the angle of your hand down so you're not muting those other notes. So that's like a basic B flat major scale. That's where we're going to be drawing our notes from. So now let me play the first 9 measures. That'll be like halfway through the verse part, and then we'll start breaking it down. Here we go. Do that a few times. Do it really slow. 1. start with a classic bluegrass pickup. We're going to start on beat 2 on the 3rd fret of the D string. And we're going to play that note twice with 2 downstrokes on beats 2 and 3. And then we're going to play the 5th fret. And then we're going to go up to this 1st fret as our main melody note. We're just walking up in pitch. And you'll notice I keep my first finger kind of hovering over this position. This is a great bluegrass position you can use. So I basically stay hovering in this shape. You could even play both the notes if you wanted to. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to do a bunch of up and down picking on the 1st fret. This melody has a lot of long notes, so it's really good practice in basically hanging out on one note and filling it up. We're not going to be changing the pitches quite as much with our left hand. We're going to be changing the rhythm with our right hand. So that's a very good concept to think about. So we're going to go 1, and that's what I'm just bouncing off that 3rd fret, keeping my first finger down and then going right back to it. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And that's just a way to mix it up and spice it up a little bit. You could basically stay on that 1st fret the whole time if you wanted to. It's just not quite as interesting. So what I'm doing here is what I call the bouncing technique. Not a technical term at all, I just made that up. But basically, you're kind of bouncing one note higher in the scale. You can also bounce one note lower. It's a very common like fiddle or mandolin move to basically just spice up a long phrase where you might just in vocals with a vocal you might be just singing one note, but translated to mandolin it doesn't always just sound super interesting just to hang out on one note. So adding that little bounce on the upstroke can add a little bit of extra excitement. So let's play that part into measure 3. So we have 1. And then we're going to go back down the notes 5, 3, 5. And then back to the 1st fret. And then a 3, 5 hammer on. And then down, up. And then 3, 5. And then back to the 1st fret. So we're basically just working those 3s, 5s, and 1s. Those are the frets. So really important is just stay in this position. You can basically almost keep your first finger down the whole time. Let's play that first part. So we have 1. And the thing I'm doing there with the hammer on is I'm not playing a down up with my pick. I'm just doing a single down. You could do a down up if you want to, but just to give yourself some practice, try doing it with just a single downstroke, and I'm changing the pitch. You can also push down with your first finger to kind of help you get some more power on that hammer on. And then right here I'm doing that bouncing thing again too, where I'm going one note lower. So we have that's measure 4 into measure 5. And then we're going to do down, up, and then another down, and then 3rd fret. And then I basically take this shape, the 3rd fret and 1st fret, and I move it down the strings, which is another B flat position. So I'm going from this shape to this shape, and I'm going to hammer on while doing up and down picking. And then 3rd fret, and then 1st fret. So I'm just staying in this shape. And then if I do 3 and 1, it's like this is a B flat. If I move it down the strings, this is an F, which is the 5 chord, another chord that we'll use in B flat. So we're going B flat, and then F, and then I'm doing down, up, down, down. So just a rhythm there, down, up, down, and then down, up. The rhythm there is not as important. You could pick the whole time there. I just chose a rhythm. And then one more down, and then another down, up, and then stay in this shape, and then go back to the 5th fret. And then we're going to walk back down. Hear that? So we're going. So let's move it back a little bit. Let's take it from measure 5, and then we'll play the whole thing again. So we have... The other thing I like to do is cut off that 3rd fret a little bit. That kind of helps you set up that phrase. So you have... And you do have to take your finger off the E string for a quick second to move it down in measure 7. Right there. I'm not pushing down both strings. You could. My hand's not really big, or my finger's not big enough to do that. So I just move my finger quick. So that's the first 9 measures. Let's play those really slow. 1. The other thing I found that I just realized I wasn't doing there is like when I go up and do this position, I like kind of keeping my pinky close to my 3rd finger there. Sometimes it's easy for your pinky to want to, or at least for me, it was easy for my pinky to want to like drift away, which kind of puts extra tension on your hand. So what I'm kind of doing is I'm not like pushing against it necessarily, but I'm just kind of keeping it there. I think that helps you keep your hand out as well. You need both those notes to ring out. So this is the have you been to Jesus for his cleansing power? Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb part? So we have